Hey guys, it's Summer and today I'm going to be doing my July book haul. Up until last week I had only purchased 2 books and I was kind of proud of myself, but then I went to the thrift store with my mom and kind of bought a lot of books. But they were all $2 each, so I feel okay about it. The first set of books isn't necessarily like to read though, they're more for like decorating purposes. In my living room I really want to decorate with books, but I want to keep it super neutral, so I got these books to paint white. I don't know what any of those books are about. I don't really even know what any of them are, so we're just gonna leave them as my craft books. And you know what? I've been wanting to do this for like months now, since before we even like got the townhome. And then while we were in California, we went into Restoration Hardware and they had books just like that. They had painted books to be white to match the decor. And I was like, I thought of that first, so I should basically work for Restoration Hardware. That's what I got out of that. I don't really even know what this next one is. It's from like the 1980s or something, but it's like, I think, a bind up of these thrillers, but I just thought the cover looked super cool, like the neon corally orange color with the black and white. I just thought it looked really cool, so I got this one. And then there were also like a million Reader's Digest books there, so I got a few that I thought like were particularly cute. This next one my mom found, and it's my favorite out of the whole Reader's Digest bunch. This one right here was published in 1960, so it's a little bit older, kind of vintagey looking. The spine. It's cute because it has like somebody's signature or something on the inside of it. It has super cute little illustrations on the inside. These peeps getting attacked by a bear. It's fine, but I just really love how it looks, and I also haven't taken the stickers off yet, so that'll be fun. And then next there is this one. I just love that they look like cool wallpaper or something, like vintage wallpaper. I just think that they're just so cute. And I probably won't ever read any of those, but they're just going to be super cute decor. So I'm really happy with it. These next 2 from the thrift store are like I'm a little bit more interested in possibly reading them. This one's called Worst Person Ever by Douglas Copeland. And that sounds so familiar to me now that I'm saying it out loud, but I have no idea where I've heard his name before. But this cover just like looked really cool, and then it's actually like really funny when you look closer at some of the names that are up here. It says Mother Issues, Pringles, Spork, J-Lo's Rock, Fricking, Swag, and then it says Gentleman's Region right here, and then it has the scale 6 miles to 1 inch thing right here. So that's pretty great. Reading this, I really can't tell what it's gonna be about, but I think it's just gonna be like funny, blunt fiction. It's sort of what I'm getting from it, but I have no idea. I may not even get to this, but I just like the look of it, so it's $2. Like, it's fine. And then next is one that I'm so excited about, and it is Mastering the Art of French Cooking by Julia Child, Louisette Bartol, and Simone Beck. I'm just saying those names like how they sound in the movie Julie and Julia, so I probably butchered them anyway. Julie and Julia is one of my favorite movies. I absolutely love it, and I actually had this in my Amazon shopping cart the day before we went to the thrift store, so it was kind of weird that I found this there. Plus I just like that it's a used cookbook, because I'm probably honestly not going to cook out of it. I suck at cooking. I like that somebody else has used it, so it's not just going to be sitting somewhere. Next is a book that's like probably honestly one of my new favorite books ever, and it's more for like sentimental purposes. I've said in a couple of videos now how I did lapidary when I was in high school, which is like making jewelry out of rocks and stones and stuff, so I've made some turquoise rings and stuff like that. And the reason I ever got into that is because my great-grandma went rock hunting and would do lapidary with her husband. And so because of her, I kind of found my way into that, and it's something that we had in common, and she ended up giving me all of her lapidary equipment, which is just like, oh, I'm so excited about it. In her whole collection of like lapidary stuff that I got, there was this book. It's called Jewelry, Gem Cutting, and Metalcraft by William T. Baxter, and I just really love it. I love that it's kind of torn up, it's been used. One of my new favorite books, one of my new favorite possessions, and who knows if I'm actually going to use it as a reference, just because I think enough things have changed in lapidary since this came out, but I just really love this. This was published in 1950. That's crazy. I just think that's so cool. These last 2 books are books that I bought new from Book Depository. This first one is The Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham. I just barely listened to this and finished it on audio this month. I knew I wanted to get a physical copy, and this is the edition that I really liked. It's a little bit smaller than I thought, but it's fine because the cover's really pretty. I'm pretty sure that this is classified as a modern classic, but I don't really know for sure. It's basically about this meteor shower that the people that were out watching it and saw it, the next day they wake up blind. And we follow our main character that he had eye surgery and had his eyes bandaged while this meteor shower was going on. So he wakes up the next day and he's one of the few people that still has his vision. And it follows him trying to kind of like navigate this world where nobody can see and there's lots of crime going on and stuff. And then also, as if like everybody being blind wasn't enough, there are these plants called triffids. They're basically man-eating plants. And now that there's nobody to contain them or take care of them, they're taking over. And so people are blind and trying to run away from these man-eating plants. And it's crazy and a really cool sci-fi story, so I really like this one. This next one, oh man. I saw somebody post about this book on Instagram and I immediately flipped out and like searched the internet for this edition of this book. And it is The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I already have a copy of this. It's just kind of the generic one that's everywhere. And I was fine with it. It's not the best cover, but I was just like, I love the content of this book so much that I don't care if it's not my favorite cover. But then someone came out with this, and I'm dying just a little bit. It is so pretty. I love the typography and the colors, just everything about this cover is beautiful. And I'm just so excited to have like a really pretty edition that I'm just so happy with. And just the inside of this book is just as beautiful as the outside. I actually did a whole like reasons why you should read this book video, so I'll link that up here so you can go watch it if you want to. But I super love this cover and this book. It's basically about this middle-aged guy who goes back to his hometown and starts to remember some things from his childhood that are very like whimsical and like magical realism-y, and it's just really good. This is me from the future. This just barely came in the mail, so I figured I'd do a quick unboxing. It is Area X, The Southern Roots Trilogy by Jeff Vandermeer. This is the bind-up of all 3 books, but the first book, Annihilation, was one of my favorite books that I read a couple years ago, and I think it is one of my favorite books. I'm like really obsessed with it, which is kind of weird because I haven't really talked about it on my channel very much. This is also being turned into a movie here, I think next year or something like that. So I'd like to finish reading the next 2 books before the movie comes out. The reason I got this was because I already owned this, but I gave it to Josh to read and he ended up moving. And so I just let him keep it, so I ordered my own so that I can have my own edition again. But I also just love the cover and stuff, but the story is really cool too. It's basically about like a future United States where the southern part of the US has been taken over by a biological disaster. And so there's lots of like death and weird stuff going on over there, but nobody really knows what's happening. So the government has been sending expeditions of people into Area X to go investigate and see what's happening, but each expedition comes back or goes terribly wrong. People either come back with cancer, or they're crazy, or the people there, like the expeditions turn on each other, or like weird stuff happens. And it's honestly, the first book, Annihilation, is one of the scariest books that I've ever read. The writing is very dense, so it feels kind of like a classic, but it's so worth it. Like, it's so good. I'll definitely be talking more about this in the future, but I definitely had to haul this. But that is it for all the books that I bought in July. Let me know what kind of books you guys have purchased lately or what you've been reading recently, and I will just see you in my next video. Bye.